Hello there people of YouTube and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, your movie apprentice, and today I'm going to be reviewing a new movie? Well, I guess not entirely new. It did come out in Italy in 2019, December time, but for the majority of the world, it is very much a 2020 film. Today, I'm going to be reviewing 2019's Italian live-action telling of Pinocchio. In this world of Disney remakes, it is giving me great pleasure to review this film that is being told in live action from its source, from the 1800s novel, from its country of origin. I am very much looking forward to reviewing this one. So, Pinocchio is directed by Matteo Garrone and starring Roberto Benigni, Federico Lappi, Rocco Papaleo, and Marine Vach. This is the classic tale of Pinocchio, the puppet that is brought to life who wants to be a real boy, but it is definitely told in a different perspective than what we're used to from the Disney classic. This is basically the story if it was also a bit of Pan's Labyrinth. There are some great art designs in this film. For one, the style of this film is beautiful, and the designs on some characters like Snail and Fairy and the Cricket are all absolutely gorgeous. It's a very bizarre, macabre style film, but the designs and costume design on this is fantastic. Pinocchio himself as well, I am amazed at how well they managed to integrate him into this world. It's very hard to create this living puppet figure, but I fully believed he was there at all times. I don't know if it was practical or CG. I think it was a mix of both. I think it might have been a bunch of makeup with CG just to enhance the wooden look. And the sound design on whenever he walked just really helped add to the sense that there was this living puppet living in this world. The story has enough changes to it that it's completely different from the story that I myself am used to. I guess it is probably more based on the book, but I have not read the book, but I am very curious to read it now that I have seen this movie. The only problem I did have with this film, though, is this is an Italian film, and you could tell it was filmed and recorded in Italian. But for some reason, a bizarre reason, well, not really a bizarre reason, because no one can be asked to read subtitles, but you could tell they got the actors to re-record their lines in English in ADR. So throughout the film, you saw the words and the mouth being completely out of sync, and it really threw me off numerous times this. Sometimes it wasn't so bad, but other times you can tell it was a case they had it recorded on set in Italian, and then they just said, right, we're going to ADR the English over it. And that really did drag me out of the film at a number of times and really stopped me from getting overly invested in some of the big bits. Because there are some big bits that you feel like should be emotional, but they just fall flat because the sync issue really bothers me. I don't mind reading some subtitles, and I feel like I could have got a much more gratifying experience from the film if it just was subtitled rather than dubbed. The story is as it was. Like I say, set designs are gorgeous. They are absolutely fantastic. And I really love the bond between Pinocchio and his father Geppetto. It is one of those things where in the original one, it's sort of, you don't really get much of their father-son dynamic. Not really that much. It's very brief. Whereas this one, you feel it constantly throughout. And while the film does lack a climatic ending, it definitely adds to the father-son relationship that these two characters have. For one thing, the kid he's friends with before they get to Donkey Island, in the animated one, I need to start doing these comparisons, but I remember in the animated one, I didn't really buy they were friends. They kept telling us they were friends, but I didn't really buy it. It was more of the other kid was basically just gaslighting Pinocchio the whole way through. This one, I genuinely believed that these two characters were friends and they did care very much about each other. So when the certain thing happens, it is actually heartbreaking. Maybe not as terrifying when it actually happens, but it is heartbreaking. And there is a moment where you see them parting ways finally, and it is something that I wish Pinocchio would have gone back to later down the line, maybe inquired about him, tried to track him down, because he does end up in an area where he might have found him, so that would have been nice to see. I feel like my favourite dynamic in this was him and the fairy. Obviously, the fairy shows up in the animated one at the start and at the very end. This one, she is a presence throughout. Pinocchio sees her grow up from this child to this adult woman. And their dynamic is just beautiful to see. I love the design of this character. She was really good. Though hats off has to go to all the practical effects workers in this film. Because Snail, for one, was a fantastic little design. It's literally a massive snail, but with a woman's torso. Like, imagine a centaur, but instead of a horse, it's a snail with a massive shell. It is beautiful. The lighting, the set design in this area of the film is gorgeous. Honestly, the most complaints I have is the fact I couldn't really get invested because of the dialogue and audio syncing was just all over the place. That's the only thing that really knocked this film down for me, but I think it's a very good tale of this story. Me personally, I like the fact that they took it in different directions. Even though it's the same story, they changed it just enough so it has its own identity, and I fully believe this stands on its own 2 feet. Disney could really learn a lesson from retelling these sort of stories in a live-action setting, because while they do tell the exact same story, they do change enough things and adjust enough things that it does feel unique. Disney could really learn to do that, and with them making their own version of Pinocchio, I believe, they're going to have a high bar to clear. This is not the greatest film ever, but the fantasy and the story of it really helps carry it through, and I would say the cinematography and set design and costume design is easily the best part of this movie. So overall, I'm going to have to say that Pinocchio 2020, I'm going to say, because it was released in the UK this year, I'm going to have to say that it is a good cup of tea. So, Pinocchio, have you all seen it? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. If you do enjoy what I do on this channel, then please consider clicking that like button and hitting the subscribe button as well. It would really help me a lot. And until next time, everybody, my name is Josh. I have been your Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, thank you for watching, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. While you're here, if you haven't done it yet, please feel free to drop a like and consider hitting that subscribe button for more views coming all the time. And also, while you are here, there are some other videos over there that you might want to sink your teeth into. Have a good day, guys, and do enjoy.